Hello beautiful mamas, how are you on this Saturday evening or whatever time it might be for you? Maybe you're watching this after the live, so it could be any time of the day or night, but hello and welcome. Okay, so today in Rock Your Mojo we're going to talk about how you can get out of a funk quickly, because usually as a busy mum, if we're having a bit of a moment, we can't stay there for long. Otherwise, the whole day goes downhill. So I wanted to talk about this week because I had a funk on Monday. I was in quite a big funk, and I really needed to just get myself out of it because my kids were having a hard time. We do week on, week off with their dad. Hi Vicky, nice to see you. So I do week on, week off with my kids, and when they come to me on a Sunday night for the changeover, the next couple of days are usually a bit of an adjustment period. And so we were having that on the Monday, and so the kids hadn't slept well on the Sunday night, which meant I didn't sleep well. Woke up Monday and one of my kids was sick, which meant rearranging a whole bunch of stuff and taking the day off work. And so, being tired and with a sick child and the readjustment and everything, it was all sort of a bit much for all of us. And but I needed to help my kids out of it, which meant I needed something really sort of quick to help myself out of it. And, this happens from time to time for various reasons, I guess, for all of us. So I just wanted to give you some quick go-tos that you can try to get yourself out of a funk really quick. One of the first things I do is the deep breathing, deep, purposeful breaths. I close my eyes and I breathe in and I hold my breath and then I breathe out. And I've probably mentioned this for other reasons on other lives and some of the video trainings that I've done, because it's really helpful. It really kind of helps you get from one moment to the next and switch gears along the way. So even sometimes with my kids, I'll even get them to do the deep breathing, or I'll say, look, mummy just needs a minute, and I'll go to the next room. Maybe, they still need to see me, so I'll just sit at the table over on the other side of the room while they're on the couch, and I'll just do my deep breathing, and I just need to sort of, readjust. And all I do is think about the breath. I think about the counting of the breath in and holding the breath, and the counting of the breath out, and it really helps me readjust. So that's one sort of quick fix that you can do on the spot. Another one I like to do is I write in my journal, or even on just a piece of paper. Again, something I can do with my kids. I've actually bought them journals. My little guy, up until recently, hasn't been able to write, so he will draw pictures in his journal. Like if he's feeling sad, he'll draw a sad face. If he's feeling happy, he'll draw a happy face. But it's about helping him express his feelings in a journal format, and that's something that I do as well. So some people like to do journaling like at a regular time every day, and in the past I've done that too, usually in the morning, but now I use it more as a bit of a tool to get out of a funk, or just work through stuff that may be building up in my mind. So just writing it out, whatever I'm feeling at the time, writing it down. The next tip, number 3, is about finding 3 things that you're grateful for. And I can combine this sometimes with the journaling. So, I'll write down some things I might be thinking and feeling, but I'll also write down some things that I'm thankful for. So, even when I'm in my lowest of the funk, I can always find something that I'm grateful for. And it could be that the sun is shining. It could be that that I've had healthy food in my fridge to be able to feed my family. It could be just thankful that we're all happy and healthy, even though when you're feeling a bit funky you might not feel so happy, but you know what I mean. It's like, in general we're pretty healthy, pretty happy, and so I'll be grateful for that. I might be grateful that, you know, I can afford to run my heater during the winter. I might be grateful that I've got clean water to drink, you know, some basic stuff. Like it's, you know, things that we take for granted, other people in the world don't have. And so I try and just remind myself the things that I can be grateful for. And that really helps lift me out of my funk in the moment. Another thing that I like to do, and I do this at work, like if I'm feeling sort of a bit overwhelmed or overloaded, I just get outside for a walk. And I've got a block that I walk, and, you know, when I've done that, I feel good. And even sometimes in the rain, you know, I'll get my rain jacket on and I'll go outside and I'll do some of the deep breathing while I'm walking, so I'm kind of multitasking. But, you know, that by the time I get back to the office, I'm feeling a bit more settled and I'm, you know, refocused, and so that's fun. But I guess when you've got the kids, maybe if like on the Monday evening when I was in the middle of everything, that probably wouldn't be the tip that I would have gone for, because it wouldn't have been something that I could do. You know, I couldn't leave the kids behind. I wouldn't take them outside with me in the night when it's freezing cold. But anyway, we've got 10 tips that we're talking about, so you can choose one or more of them and at the appropriate times. Another one that I love, and it's not so easy to do in winter in Wellington, but when I can, I get some sun on my face. And today it was still cold outside, but the sun was shining in through my bedroom window, so I just laid on my bed and just got some sun on my face, and it just made me feel good. It really lifted my spirits. So I find that one of the tips that you can use for lifting yourself quickly out of a funk. Sun is just amazing for that. Number 6 is listen to your favourite song, or, you know, some music that lifts you up. And again, that's something you can do with the kids, you know, put some music on and you can all dance around and feel happy again. You know, music's just amazing for that. Sometimes I forget that my music's so good. Like I when I drive, when I used to drive, like pre-kids, to always have music on. Now it's like kind of my quiet time, you know, so I usually have the music off and it's, you know, quiet time. But if I find that I need to lift my mood or lift my spirits, then I'll put music on. So I'd love to hear from you about what your go-to music is when you want to make yourself feel better, because everyone's got a song, or at least, you know, maybe a bunch of songs that they might listen to lift themselves up. For me, this might be something you don't know about me, but I love country music. I know some people can find that quite depressing, but actually there's some really cool songs out there. They're not all about, you know, losing your wife and losing your dog and losing your car and losing your job and all that. Like some people think it's not like that. So yeah, anyway, I've got a bunch of country music that I usually just put on, and that lifts my spirits. Another one, so number 7 that I want to talk about today is grounding, or earthing, some of you might know it as. And if you don't know either of those terms, then what it is basically just getting your bare feet to touch the ground. And that could be out in your backyard in the grass, or on some dirt nearby, or ideally at the beach. And the beach is one of my favourite places if I've got time to do that, or I'm nearby, you know, a beachy area. Then I'd love to just, you know, put my bare feet and walk along the sand. So I don't know if I just lost you guys there for a minute, because Facebook was saying the connection wasn't good, so I hope we're all good. Anybody want to tell me that we're all good? Can you hear me? So I'll just repeat number 7, because the connection went a bit fuzzy. So number 7 is grounding, so getting your bare feet out on the earth if you can, and just standing there or walking, you know, along the ground with your bare feet. Maybe not the concrete, you know, the footpath or the road or your decking. It's not quite the same, but if you can just get your feet on the actual earth, on Mother Earth, and just really just feel the earth, you know, feel the sand in your toes or the dirt in your toes, or whatever. One thing I like to do too is, if I've got the time for this, is I just sort of close my eyes and I just sort of visualize all my worries and, you know, anything that's sort of, you know, not feeling good. I like to just sort of push all that into the earth, just visualize it. It's all going into the earth and all being taken care of, and it's not part of me anymore. And so that's really helpful. Number 8, a quick tip to get yourself out of a funk is to do something nice or do something kind or helpful for someone else. Kind of takes the focus off your own stuff And, for most people, it usually feels good to help someone else out or do something nice for someone, even if it's just, a little appreciation message. Maybe you don't have a lot of time. Maybe you're sitting at home with a sick kid and you can't do anything. You can send someone a message to tell them how you appreciate them. Make someone's day. How often do we do that? How often does someone just send a message to you and say, hey, I appreciate you, for everything that you do or everything that you are? So that's something that you could do for someone else. And number 9 is to play. Often us mums, when we get in our funks and we're having a bad day, it's often because there's so much busyness. We've usually got our kids around, they're going crazy or doing something that's how, sort of maybe helped us get to where we are. But, bring out a puzzle or a game or, dance around or, I don't know, have a Nerf gun fight with your kids or something. I know for me, sometimes when I'm sort of feeling in a bit of a, if I'm stressed or I'm, feeling a bit down, the last thing I want to do is play Nerf gun fights or do something. But I just sort of push through it and you say, yep, okay, I'm going to do this, and I get into it and I end up having a ball and having fun and laughing, and, it just completely sort of switches gears and takes my mind off whatever it was before, or at least helps lift my mood. And, it lifts the kids' moods too. So, if you've all been a bit stressed or having, meltdowns or whatever, then, something like that can really help. Or puzzles are sort of nice, quiet things to do. If the moments are happening sort of closer to the evening and you don't really feel like running around having Nerf gun fights, then, doing a puzzle, something quiet together, but still playing it. Puzzles make you think about the puzzle and take your mind off everything else. So I think that's a good one there. And the last one, which I think is awesome, and this is hard to do if you're on your own having a moment, but if you've got someone around, even if it's your kids, especially if it's kids maybe, is cuddles, hugs, are just so good for helping lift the tension and release the stress. There's been research done and scientific evidence apparently to say how good and healthy hugs are for us. It helps boost the oxytocin, which is supposed to be the love hormone, just makes us all feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. So if you can, hug someone. Give it like one of those sort of real meaningful hugs. I've been known to reach out to people and say, hey, I need a hug. And, don't be afraid to do that. People are willing, because it's good for them too. It boosts their oxytocin as well, even if they don't think they need it. Hugs are really good for helping get you out of a funk. Right, so if anybody else has got any tips, I'd love for you to pop a little message in and share with us all, because, I'm only going through 10 at the moment, and there's heaps of ways that you can just, sort of switch the mood, switch from a meltdown to a happier place, and just to help you sort of soldier on and push through. And so I'll just quickly recap. Number 1 is to do the breathing. Close your eyes, deep breath in, deep breath out, as many as you can until you're feeling a little calmer. Number 2 is to write in a journal, write how you feel, or write anything, just get some feelings out onto paper. It helps to release them. And if it's really sort of hard, and bad for you, then, once you've got it all out on paper, then burn it or bury it or something, something symbolic to sort of release that stress. Number 3 is to be grateful. Find 3 things in your life that you can be grateful for. You might just think about them, or you might write them down and combine that with your journaling. Number 4 is go for a walk. Number 5 is get some sun, go and put your sun out in the face out in the sun, Number 6 is to listen to your favourite song or some music that lifts you up. Number 7 is to get your bare feet to touch the ground, the dirt or the sand at the beach or something. Number 8 is to do something kind or nice or helpful for someone else. Number 9 is to play. Could be by yourself, could be with your kids, could be anything, but play a game, do a puzzle, etc. And number 10 is to get yourself some cuddles or some hugs from someone. So, there you go. There's the 10 tips that I wanted to share with you today. I hope they've been helpful, and like I said, if you've got any of your own, I would love to have you pop them in the comments under this video. That's it from me. Have a wonderful evening, day, night, morning, whatever you are, and we will catch you next time on Rock Your Mojo. Thank you. Bye.